Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another deck report. This is Season 6X, week number 4. I think it's week number 4. It will be in the description. So, this past weekend, we had 2 OTS championships. One on Saturday in ISD Gaming, like the gaming store, and the other one at the DMK Sports shop in Sunday. I sadly couldn't attend the Saturday one. There was just a lot of budget issues and repercussions that just enabled me not to go to the event. Shout outs to Gabriel Santiago. He won that event. He is a really good testing partner of mine, and he won with Lunalight. If you are interested in his deck profile, feel free to let me know. He will probably be on the Extenders like YouTube channel. So if that happens, I will post it in a community post. That being said, I did play at the DNK Sports Sunday event. It was 28 players, which enabled 5 rounds of Swiss and then top 8 cut. I want to give a shout out to another team. Shout outs to Team Got Milk Gaming. I will post their channel in the description. They did something incredibly generous. Like a few of their players did make top cut in their OTS tournament, and for those who are unaware, top 4 onwards in the OTS championships gives you the invite for like next year's World Championship qualifiers in 2026, and they gave their win to the opposing players that did not have their invite, and they made the proposal for everybody who did already have their invite to give their win to their opponents, and then we just play it separately to win the match. So I will preface this. You see the map here on the screen. I did not win the OTS championships. I did lose in top 4. However, I did ask Jorge to lend me the map just to show you that, because in record I did actually win the OTS championship. You will see it on record. It will be like profiled in Konami's like data that I did win, even though we did play separately for the mat, and I did ended up losing in top 4. So shoutouts to Got Milk Gaming. So I'm just gonna go straight to the list. My record in Swiss was 3-5. I did lose to Jorge in round 4, and I lost to Abraham, the other Got Milk Gaming like team member, in top 5. I mean, in round 5. I won my top 8 match against Mitsuru Kiyomi, and I lost again in top 4 to the same Dracotail player that beat me in round 5. Things I want to add and mention. Half of those losses were to my misplays. Academically, my Dracotail opponent was way more versed with the deck than I have. So, they do deserve the win by academic standards. That being said, I think the deck build that I made was very substantially different from his, and did have an advantage with the player knowledge that I had in mind, like with the concept of the format. I am not the most experienced Dracotail player ever. However, if you've been on my channel, you already know that I do know enough about Dracotail to, give myself some respect as a duelist, and also have been innovative with the deck in some sorts. So I'm gonna go straight to the list. I'll talk about stuff that happened in the tournament that influenced with the deck choice, and stuff that I probably would change in the future. Alright. So 3 Lucias, 3 Paimena, 3 Malulu, Frixel, Orgula, Pan. That's it for the Dracotails. We'll talk about the ratios later. I main decked all the Moch armies, so Purulia, 3 Meows, 3 Koalas. I also mained 2 Nibirus and Magnamut, and these were my only hand traps during the weekend. So for other miscellaneous monsters that we played, we did play King of the Swamp, and if you already saw my last week's deck report, you already know why this is in here. If you're newer to the deck and you're just watching this because of the OTS stop, I will explain the reasoning behind it. And then we got the Fallen Foul Blast. We are playing the branded package, the branded fusion. And the other thing that we're playing, and I have 0 regrets playing this. I also played this last week, but it was at different rate numbers. I played Nel Shaddoll Aerial and Shaddoll Dragon. So that's it for monsters. I think there are 29 monsters in total. Now let's go for spell cards. You'll notice that my spell lineup is going to be very different from normal, regular Dracotail players. We'll start with Triple Tactic Thrust. We did play Thrust in the main deck. The other card that stands out, and I also do not regret playing this card, this is a very nice thing that the deck has going for it. I played 3 Shaddoll fusions in the main. I will explain these. And then for the standard stuff, you got the 3 Ketu Dracotails. Shoutouts to the OTS pack that had like a factory error ultimate rare. Like, I'm sure that people who are be pulling these packs already have noticed by now. Triple Rahu, 2 branded fusion, Poly because of the swamps, Called by the Grave, and I only mained 1 Dracotail trap. I only mained Sting. That's it for the main deck. It is 46 cards in total. I'm gonna go straight to the side deck first. So, 3 Droll, 3 Phantasme, 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Ghost Bells, 2 Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous, 1 Dracotail Horn, 1 Dracotail Flame. That's it for the side deck. Let's go to the extra deck. So, 2 Arthalions, 1 Gulamel, El Shaddoll Apkalone, El Shaddoll Grista, Guardian Chimera, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Chaos, Secretarian, Grand Wignall, Despia Quiritus, Albion the Branded Dragon, Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, Titanic Lad, and the Dragon that Devours Dogma. Alright, so this is the list. So things I want to bring up. I feel like the deck build itself is kind of flawed. There are a lot of flaws. There are a lot of things I would change about the list. I think the concept behind the list was very solid. I'll start with Shaddoll Fusion. So, one thing that Shaddoll Fusion does for this deck, and the reason I liked it a lot, is the first thing it does is it gives you a very big edge in the Dracotail Mirror match. Like, if you're playing against the Mirror and your opponent opens 5 mana, and you open the Shaddoll Fusion, this is a blowout. Because you not only are you enabling more fusions and plays, like, you are also getting rid of your opponent's resources. Like, if your Dracotail opponent goes like 5 mana into Arthalion, and then they try to like set up their spell and traps, and they have, like, for example, Gulamel, Orgula in graveyard, just making Apkalone with these 2 does a lot of things. Some people also summon Gulamel, so this will permanently negate whatever's on board. This pops whatever spell or trap they set with their Dracotails, and this gets rid of their graveyard recursion. So Shaddoll Fusion itself is already a blowout against the Dracotail mirror match if you choose to go first and they 5-mana you. The other thing that Shaddoll Fusion does for us is if we're going second, it essentially works as a very strong breaker, because what you end up doing is use Grista as the material, and with Grista, the materials that you're using are Urgula and Shaddoll Dragon, and like this already gets rid of 2 back rows. It gives you a free body on board as well. If they get rid of this body can just grab back Shaddoll Fusion and you can use it on another instance. The other thing is that this also sets up for your Dracotail plays. So you are both breaking the board and setting up your engine when you're going second with Shaddoll Fusion. I had 3 opponents where they saw my Shaddoll Fusion, they had the way to stop it, and they did not stop the Shaddoll Fusion. And by not stopping that Shaddoll Fusion, it was a complete blowout that just changed like the outcome of the game. Shout out to Abraham Rivera. He respected the hell out of this card a lot more than other people did. Like, he did everything in his power to make sure this card didn't resolve, because he knew that this card was game if I would have resolved it. So yeah, that's it. That's the first outlier of this deck. If we talk about Triple Tactic Thrust, it was essentially the same idea. I kind of wanted more copies of Shaddoll Fusion, but more importantly, the Triple Tactic Thrust also gives us Polymerization. It also gives us Branded Fusion. It also gives us K2, and it also gives us Rahu. So essentially, Thrust was just an extra 3 copies of all these spell cards, and that was the idea behind it. In the future, I probably would not main this, unless you choose to blind second with the deck. I originally built this deck with the intention of blinding second, but I did win half of my die rolls, and every time I win the die roll, I would make an assessment of what deck it was, and depending on my opponent and what deck choice, I would either go first or second. I always try to go first against Mitsurugi Yomi. I always try to go second against the Dracotail mirror match, because Dracotail is a lot stronger breaking boards than making boards, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's it for the Thrust and the Shaddoll Fusions. Those are the things that stand out the most, right? I guess we can talk about Albas and we talk about the King of the Swamps. So King of the Swamp can be treated as Albas. So with King of the Swamp, you can make Titanic Led, you can make Sanctifier, you can make Dogma, you can make the Branded Dragon. However, it also is treated as Blazing Cartesia, so you can also use it for Grand Wignall, and you can use it as Dark Magician, so you can summon Dragoon. And if you saw my Quantum Malice deck, and you saw that I was playing Avramax in the extra deck, you already know that IP Protected Avramax is really hard for Mitsuyomi to defeat. The same thing goes with Dragoon. Like, Dragoon is a really tough monster to out for Mitsuyomi standards. Like, that deck has an incredibly hard time dealing with Dragoon. The thing I also liked about King of the Swamp, it makes Dragoon an awkward card against your opponent on very weird game states. There was one game I got Retaliating Seed, and because I got Retaliating Seed, my Ketu was able to fusion summon on my turn 1, and I made Dragoon. And I pretty much put my opponent on, you have to out this Dragoon under Retaliating Seed. If you do not get rid of the Retaliating Seed, you're under your own Macross effect, and you have to deal with this. If you do get rid of your Retaliating Seed, like, you're giving me the avenue to fusion summon successfully on the next turn, and you're giving me better follow-up with my Dracotail cards. and you still have to deal with the Draco. So it worked out. I did win 2 games out of that situation. This card was also not bad against the mirror match. You have to be careful against the mirror, because if they do get to branded fusion, they will get rid of this. The other thing is, if they resolve Malulu, like they can Malulu negate this as well, because Malulu does not target. Also, Falling of Albaz can also get rid of it. So there's another thing to note. But I did really like Dragoon. I think I will keep playing King of the Swamp moving forward. I did bring back Dragoon with Secretarian Dragon once or twice, so that did happen. That situation did come up. Yeah, I think Dragoon was really solid. I might even play this like post-burst protocol when we get Fallen of White, because Fallen of White locks you into into level 8s. This is level 8, so yeah. Speaking of level 8, let's talk about Quiritus. So the reason I opted to play Quiritus instead of Lilith is, in the off chance I do make Brandwin Null, but I also trigger Branded Fusion. I did not want to be in a position where this Brandwin Null could have its effect live, but I was locked under Branded Fusion, which hard locks you into fusions like during the turn. So I pretty much just enabled my way into just fusion summoning. Shoutouts to Jorge. You will probably see his deck profile in the Got Milk Gaming channel later this week. He did beat me because he cited non-fusion area, and I had no way to out it. So yeah, that did happen, sadly. But yeah, in the future, I might just take out this and put back Lilith, because the situation of this floating into Albaz means that you did not trigger Branded Fusion. So yeah, that's it for this, right? So you probably noticed that my only 2 Shaddolls of choice were Apkalone and Krista. I did not play Winda. I did not play other Shaddolls. The Shaddolls were mainly there as a board breaker engine, more than just a fusion engine into like other monsters. By the time of this recording, the 5th Shaddoll card that should be revealed for Terminal World 3 has not been announced yet. Depending on how the Shaddoll card is described and like how it's shown, you might see more Shaddoll focused hybrid of Dracotail in the future with that new support. So yeah, Chaos, this is standard in branded Dracotail by now. I wanted to talk about Guardian Chimera. So Guardian Chimera is the #1 reason I play King of the Swamp. Shoutouts to Abraham again. I lost in top 4 because I did have Chimera in my extra deck. The situation for it came up. It would have won me the game, and I completely overlooked it because it was a complicated game state, and I was not thinking, I was not looking into pondering all my options at the moment. I think this is correct. I did every single game I summoned Guardian Chimera, I did win that game. Guardian Chimera is exceptionally really strong against the mirror match as well, because if you go if you go first and your opponent 5-manas you, again, it's the same situation as Shaddoll Fusion. You just end on a Guardian Chimera that will pop their setup cards for the next turn and just gives you more card advantage. So yeah, I did not regret playing this. In the future, I would still play King of the Swamp, and I would still play Guardian Chimera. And the consensus was I was not playing a third Arthalion. I have been without a third Arthalion for the longest, for a while now. And I'll be very straight and forward and honest with all of you. I really do think that you can play with 2 Arthalions instead of 3. Another reason I'm also doing this is to give me a mental exercise. I've already seen people discussing whether or not Arthalion should be hit on the next Forbidden Limited list. In the off chance that it does happen, I already have like the mental practice of being a lot more resource like hungry, or be a lot more respectful of my resources with Arthalion. If Arthalion does get limited, this second Arthalion is going to be Charis once Burst Protocol is released. Alright. So those are the main deck explanations, at least the ones that stand out, right? Because everything else is just standard regular Dracotail stuff. I guess we can talk about the hand trap lineup. So if you know me, and if you've been on this channel, and if you've seen past Dracotail profiles, you already know that my prerogative on this is that I like hand traps that replace themselves. I am not a really big fan of the other type of hand traps like Ash Blossom and like Ghost Bell. I even thought about main decking Phantasme at one point, but I just felt there's not enough value that I'm getting out of Phantasme as opposed to the other Molcharmies. And as strong as Ash and Bell are, I think these cards are more acceptable against the Mirror Match than other matchups. I think you're gonna get a lot more value out of the Molcharmies if you go second than you would out of those cards. In the tournament, I only drew Meowth once, and the one time I drew it was against Mitsurugi Yomi, and it did get called by the grave. So I don't know how I feel about Meowth at the moment. Perulia was very good. I did face 2 Crystron Canines during the week, and this card was very good against both of them. I don't have to explain Fua. I did not resolve Nibiru once the entire week. I know Nibiru is pretty much a staple in Dracotail. I guess half of those matches were mirror matches, so that kind of attributes to one of the reasons you regularly do side this out against the mirror match. And yeah, I don't need to talk about Magnamut. I mean, even Aditya explained why this card is the best card in Dracotail. At least the best non-engine in Dracotail. So, if we look at our side deck, you'll see the Ash and the Bells. You already know, like, these are mainly here for the mirror match. Like, if you go second against the mirror, you want your fusion spells to resolve. So, just stopping Dracotail Flame in the most avenues as possible is really strong. Draw is here from Mitsurugi. You have to respect the matchup. I've seen people start like moving away from draw in their side against that deck, because that is one of those decks where if you draw them but they already have access to their engine, you're already down a card, and there is so much card advantage that they still have over you. So I don't know how I feel about draw at the moment. I can vouch for Ash and Bell, obviously. Phantasme, funnily enough, I even cited this against the Dracotail Mirror Match, because some Mirror Match players are playing like the Heretic Seal, and some play Cross Sheep. This having the targeting protection also is very helpful. Obviously against Mitsuyomi and Malice, you kind of do want to set this card always. Nothing against Phantasme. Placing Cartesia. Okay, so I want to talk about this card. In the future, I will main deck this card again. I think this card is worthy being in the main deck. I've seen people side it, I've seen people not play it. This card was phenomenal for me this weekend. One thing that this did for me that was great is when paired with Fallen of Albas, is basically another engine push if you go second. I faced against Dracotail. No, I faced against K9 Crystron player that did spell canceler me, and I won that game against the spell canceler because I opened both Albaz and Blazing Cartesian. I summoned the Albaz. They Crystron clustered it to pop it, and because Albaz is in the graveyard, I was able to special summon Blazing Cartesia from my hand, and then fuse with Blazing Cartesia. There's also one game where my opponent had Ripper, and they Ripper negated this, and then I summoned Magnamort, and that was enough. But yeah, in the future, I would play this. I think post burst protocol, this card is also warranted in the main deck, especially if you do play that second Albaz, the other one, the Fallen of White. There are some really neat combos that you can do involving Blazing Cartesia. Also, Blazing Cartesia is gonna be really strong in the future because it is able to bridge you into Dracotail as well. If you're interested in those combos, feel free to post it right in the comments. I will get you a deck like video with that in the future. But yeah, enough blazing Cartesia. I had to do that pun. And so the two other Dracotail traps. When I first initially built this deck, I kind of wanted to go second with this deck for most of the time. And that meant the consensus of not just playing all the Dracotail traps in the main. So I felt like Sting was the most important trap to be maining, which is ironic because it's not the super rare. This is the most versatile. Every relevant deck this format, except for maybe Malice, does get hurt by this card. This arguably can hurt Malice as well if you go first and your opponent is exhausting like their Malice resources too quickly. So yeah, this getting rid of their Malice trap cards, like making it so they cannot recover it with Whitebinder, is also does come up. But yeah, like Horn and Flame. In the future, I probably would main this again. I really did felt good with the deck when it was going second. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I was maining Thrust and Shaddoll Fusion. So other stuff that came up for me. If we look at our Dracotails, the second Orgula did come up for me. I did lose one game where I didn't have the second Orgula. It was against the mirror match because they stung my Orgula really quickly, and I had no access to my Dracotail traps because my only trap in the main was Sting. So I had no real way to get back the Orgula from Banished. And I had a Rahu Dracotail that kind of wanted to resolve. So yeah, in the future, I would definitely play a second Orgula. I've seen a lot of profiles where a lot of people like say that there's no real difference between Orgula and Pan at multiple copies. Yes, there is a very big difference. The second Orgula does come up a lot. Especially in those grind games where you just want to recover your resources from your graveyard. Again, shouts to Abraham. I did lose in round 5 against him because I sided out the Shaddoll, the aerial, and that situation came up because he had both Orgulas in graveyard. But yeah, that's it for the Dracotail portion. I think in the future, post-burst protocol, there is an argument for you cutting down on the Dracotail ratios and just play more focused on Branded and Magistus. So probably cutting a few Malulus, maybe cut in like an Lucius, maybe even cut Frixel. But for now, I think these are the best ratios for Dracotail, except for the second Urbula. I would definitely play the second Urbula. So yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. Uh, Again, congratulations to everybody that topped. I really just wanted my nationals invite more than anything. And it worked out. I really was nervous because I did not top my I did not get my invite from the regional 2 weeks ago, and I was not doing so well with so many deck choices as of late. I'm really glad that this one worked out. All right. Until next time, keep practicing and keep dueling.